We're ready to get started here on the WestJet Cargo stage. Thanks so much for coming to check this out, and thank you for spending your long weekend with us. I'm your host, Patrice Whiffen. Thank you again so much for being here. This next guest really needs no introduction. You may have seen her over as one of our judges at our Top Dogs event over in the main arena. Pet rescue is incredibly important to the Canadian Pet Expo. $2 off of each e-ticket went to support either Boxer Rescue, Don Cherry's Pet Rescue Foundation, and Dog Tales. So we appreciate anyone who purchased your tickets online. $2 from each of those tickets went to support rescue pets. So thank you so much for all of your support. Now our next guest is the president of Don Cherry's Pet Rescue Foundation, and she really needs no introduction, Miss Cindy Cherry.
Thank you, Patrice. Patrice is going to be angry with me because Patrice walks the talk, okay? Because she's doing a great job, and she's Canadian, and she's connected with the Canadian Pet Expo. But I also have a foundation, as she said, Don Cherry's Pet Rescue, and she does sit on our board of directors. So she walks the talk. Don't think she doesn't. So. Thank you very much, Patrice. She's a woman of many talents and all. I was just over judging one of the contests over here, and all those dogs, their talent contest was, they were all pet rescue. They were all from rescue. And you look at how those trainers have taken the time. There was a couple stories, one of them come from Puppy Mills and the whole deal, and you see the time that these people went in. So I'm supposed to be talking today about how to take care of your pet. And so I'll just give you a little story. I was speaking at an engagement for the Kidney Foundation of Canada promoting organ donation, another one of my good causes. Do you know Canada's 23rd in the world for organ donation? I don't know, I'm getting off topic here, but it's sort of hard to believe, isn't it? That's another one of the good causes. But we were talking, we're talking dogs, and these people were telling me their dog story, and there was a woman there, and she was being very quiet, and she wanted to participate, but you can tell that she wanted to say, and I go, so do you have a dog? No, and she felt sort of bad, and I said, well, what's the matter? She goes, well, you're not going to like me because I don't have a dog. I go, well, why would you say that? And she says, well, and she says, because I know you like dogs, and she says, but my life just isn't conducive to having a dog. She says, I live in an apartment. She says, I travel a lot. I work really long hours. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? If more people were like you, that knew that their life wasn't conducive, is that the word? I feel like that's a fancy word my dad might not want me to use. I said, you know what? There wouldn't be so many dogs in rescue. When you're getting a pet, you have to say, what works for me? How long hours do I work? You know, I was talking to a couple over here, and, you know, they said, well, we live in an apartment, and people, you know, they look down because I can't have a dog because I live in an apartment. I said, well, that really isn't true. I said, you know, you can live in an apartment and have a dog, but you just got to realize that there's some breeds that are conducive, again, that word, for being in an apartment, and it's a bigger commitment living in an apartment. But if you can't do it, then you shouldn't have a dog and all this. And they said, well, we know the challenges you're facing. So this woman that felt really bad about not owning a dog, she owned cats. And I said, well, you know, what kind of cat do you have? I guess that's the next question you're supposed to say with people and cats, not that the breeds are as specific as dogs. And she said a Maine Coon cat, huge cat. And she was really into her cat, so we got on that topic and everything. So this is what I like to emphasize. When you're talking about what kind of pet or what kind of dog to have, do your research. There's a lot of variations out there that you know. Because I have the foundation, I do promote pet rescue. I do promote dogs that, you know, need a home, which I think is very important. And people say, yeah, but I like special breeds. I like a bulldog, or I like a specific Westie or something. And as you go through this show tonight, Grant, the owner, he's been very good about having rescues that are specific to breeds if you're really wanting a specific breed of dog. Westy, the boxer rescue is here. I mean, there's really, I hate I'm not supposed to say this, but you have to wonder about going out and buying a purebred dog when there's so many people out there that they give up these dogs, and these rescue groups have to go out and find homes. So I sort of get in trouble when I talk like this. So I'm going to skim over that topic because it's sort of like that. But, when you these rescue groups that you want to support, us at the Don Cherry Pet Rescue, we don't really go out there and rescue the dogs. What we want to do is raise money and give money to these rescue groups. These people are so dedicated. It just amazes me. I got a rescue dog, and I sort of got thrown into this world of rescue, and it always astounded me how dedicated these people were. A lot of them, the rescue, but the real heroes of the rescue is the foster people. They take these dogs and they foster these dogs. These dogs come from puppy mills, they come from horrendous conditions and things like this. And these foster people bring these dogs in, get them used to being in a family environment, which is bring them out of their shell, get them ready for adoption for a family, get them housebroken. These dogs are so traumatized being in whatever environment they came of. We all know puppy mills and stuff like that, but they are the real heroes. When you can't help but falling in love with a dog like that and then get it ready for someone to adopt, then you have to give it up. So you can imagine how hard that is for some people to give up a dog that they saw come out of its shell and then get it a good home. So you really got to admire those type of people and all, for sure. So with that, and that's just a part of how do you get a dog. And then you think about, okay, well, now what does it take with having a dog? There's so many variables, and they say, well, what kind of dog? I got to tell you, people ask me a lot, what kind of dog should I get? So other than the rescue group, I always say, if you want feedback on a dog, you don't go to a person that owns a bulldog, because then the bulldogs are the greatest dog. If you go to a person that has a Cocker Spaniel, the Cocker Spaniels are our greatest dog in the world. So what you do is, if you want feedback on what breed that you like, I always say, ask a dog groomer or a veterinarian. They see the breeds and their true personalities of what they're like. If they need a lot of exercise, if they're couch potato dogs, you really can get good feedback from them. So that's just something to consider. You think of these dogs, they're going to be with you, they live 10, 15 years, you're a responsible dog owner. They're going to be around for a while, so you better get something that fits your lifestyle, okay? So, and then that's something to consider. A lot of people say, well, I travel. There's a lot of great boarding kennels out there. I mean, there's nothing wrong, personally, I think, in boarding your dog. If you're going to go on a vacation, a lot of people like in-house care, but trust me, a lot of times these dogs do better in boarding kennels rather than being in a home and they miss you. That's just a personal opinion. There's a lot of variables on what you're going to do when you go on vacation. Don't be one of those people that buy a dog and then your life is not going on a vacation. So it's just something to think about. I guess that's about it. I think they've said my spot, and I want to thank you very much for coming and listening to me and getting a little history on the foundation. Maybe I opened a few of your eyes and about the value of rescue and what great shows like this do for all that, okay? So thank you very much. Take care.